Hi everybody, my name is Freddie Sedano and this is my beautiful, lovely, wonderful wife, Bree Celine, and welcome to the very first Films with Freddie. And I do mean films because a lot of this is going to be bullshit. Sorry. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite shows. I can't believe I'm saying one of my favorite shows, A Series of Unfortunate Events. And Bree and I have been watching it for the last 3 years and we were so sad to see it go. But it was a really fucking good show, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. So I'll let Bree take it away. What were your initial thoughts? What'd you think of the show?
I thought it was better than I expected. I think there was so much hype about it, and I think that made me not want to watch it. And then we started watching it, and it was actually pretty awesome. By the way, Neil Patrick Harris, damn. I thought, like, Jim Carrey was absolutely perfect, but after watching this, I'm like, no.
So that's the big thing. Some of you might not realize this, but Neil Patrick Harris was actually a producer on the show, which means that his character was all him. He had full control over that. No one got to say, don't do this, do that. He had full control over at least the Olaf character. And I think that really paid off because clearly he had a vision and a direction for the show. And I think the tone of the show really shone through. And I think he was a big part of that creatively as a producer, but also like one of the stars of the show. The kids were fantastic. I think they lucked out almost as good as the Game of Thrones cast, at least with the kids. Melina Weissman and what was the boy's name?
I don't remember, but I feel like they got almost the same actors. Like they looked the same from the Jim Carrey version. Emily Browning was the first one, and
Louis Hines. Sorry, Louis, you kicked ass in that role. Yeah, they kind of went for the same aesthetic. Emily Browning is our age, almost 30 probably. Melina Weissman, I think, for me, stole the show a lot of the times. Like every time she bunched up her hair, I was like, oh hell yeah, she's gonna MacGyver some shit and figure it out. So I have a theory, real quick. I have a theory about the show. I haven't found anything related to it, but I'm pretty sure they filmed the whole show all the way through, like in one go. So maybe they shot for a full year. I feel that they knew what the whole series was going to be. Salem, what are you doing? I think that they knew what the whole show was going to be.
He's a little excited. He actually watched it with us.
He watched a good chunk of it with us. So I think that they shot the show like in 1 year or something like that because the baby ages, but not that much. Like from the beginning of the show to the end of the show is theoretically 3 years of production, and they used the same baby, and that was not like a 4-year-old baby by the end. So I'm pretty sure they shot the whole thing in one go, knowing that the baby would be growing, and they just shot it back to back. And then they just released it 1 year at a time. At least that's my theory. I think the production value was amazing. I'm sure they had a pretty big budget. So it's a Netflix show, so clearly they had a budget. But I feel that they did a lot with whatever budget they had. In terms of the visual effects, they did a lot of green screen. And I think I could tell a little bit more in season 3, kind of what they were doing in terms of like the production. I kind of saw through a lot more of the green screen. They did a lot of green screening for the show. Things that you might not realize were green screen probably were, and they probably did a few sets, less sets than you would think. But I digress. Melina Weissman's acting was great. Louis Hines' acting was fantastic. Even the baby actor was great. Tara Strong's voice as Sunny was awesome, and of course, Count Olaf, Neil Patrick Harris as Count Olaf was just pure insanity. He played that just so well. So the first time I watched A Series of Unfortunate Events, the Jim Carrey version, my friend told me, "Oh yeah, you'll love the movie. It'll be great. Let's go watch it." So we watched it, and I was like, "That." I really hate like absurdity for the sake of absurdity. It really just grinds my gears and gets under my skin. Like it really fucking pisses me off when like the Guardian. What was the Guardian's name? Mr. Freeman? No. Peter Pettigrew was it? He played Peter Pettigrew.
Mr. Poe.
Mr. Poe.
Mr. Poe.
Like Mr. Poe, the ridiculousness of that character just really just got to me. And there's a lot of the show, like a lot of the show is absurd on purpose, past the point of reason, and a lot of that really pissed me off. And that's why I didn't like the original series of Unfortunate Events, and I knew I wouldn't. And my friend swore up and down, "You'll like the movie, it'll be great." And then we watch it, get to the end of the movie, and I'm like, well, that was a waste of... Damn it, Salem! Well, that was a waste of 2 hours of my life. And they're like, "Yeah, I didn't think you'd like it." And after that, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to trust your word on this kind of shit anymore. Like, you literally just fucking lied to me and made me waste 2 hours of my life." But anyways, I remember I was in LA heading out on one of my first big DIT trips, and we saw the billboard with Neil Patrick Harris on the billboard saying, "Don't watch the show." And we looked at each other and we're like, "Okay, we won't." So we didn't. And we ended up just putting it on, and despite the absurdity, I was hooked.
You know, I really have to say that the ending was it for me, because I felt like Count Olaf wasn't so much of a bad guy, and then we get to the ending and it's so... I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, it's like Snape all over again. You know, just a lot. And you're like, oh my god, he really wasn't that much of a bad guy. I don't think he was that much of a bad guy. But, you know, like after, you know, he dies, you're like super sad that he died.
Also, spoiler alert. Everybody dies in the show, apparently. No, I actually, season 1 was good. It was solid. Season 2 was solid. And this last year, I was like, I cannot wait for season 3. I cannot wait for season 3. And season 3, for me, just wrapped up the whole show so beautifully. And they even, like, retconned a few things. They kind of, like, fudged a few things. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, nice going. Or they caught themselves or whatever. But season 3 really tied the whole series together. Like, season 1 was okay. Season 2 was okay. But if you take the whole series as a whole, it's an amazing series. It's far more than just an okay series. But season 3 was really, really magical. And that last episode, it was just so good. But they kind of did rewrite Olaf a little bit. They did make him a lot more sympathetic. I
feel like a lot more human.
They humanized him a lot more.
But, you know, I just feel like he's just a realist, you know? Where there's moments where he's talking about things and you're just like, holy crap, he's right. Like, you know, when they're in court in season 3. During the trial. And then he's like, don't try to be the good person because everyone has done bad stuff and you've done bad stuff too. Including the Baudelaires. Yeah, including the kids, and then you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, like, he calls them out. Sort of.
But fuck that shit. Your ass put those kids in that position and they reacted to your trifling ass. If you hadn't done any of this shit, they would be good kids living with their fucking parents. So, like, I see where and Neil Patrick Harris was going with it. I see where Olaf was going with it. But I'm still like, fuck you. You did the shitty things. Don't get on their ass for doing shitty things back at you. They had to survive you. But yeah, like, I see the moral quandary, and I really like that they humanized him. Like, in that season, it was really, really compelling. Anyways, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so they humanized him in season 3 to prepare him for his death. Like, I think that's fair. I almost couldn't take him seriously because I see him and all I think is Barney from How I Met Your Mother, and especially, like, you know, Olaf, you know, he has all these disguises and all these schemes, and then it's like, oh, it's Barney all over again.
Do you have a low point, things you didn't like about the the show as a whole? What did you
Well,
like?
no, I have to say Carmelita was the worst thing about that show. Oh my God.
Here.
I think she's a fantastic actress.
Carmelita
I'm not
Spatz.
hating on the actress, but she did so good. Oh my gosh, just cake sniffer. What is that? Like
That.
Ugh.
Oh, dude, every time she said cake sniffer. Katana Turnbull. Oh shit, she has a cool ass name. Katana Turnbull. I think there's something to be said about an actor that makes you want to punch him in the face, like Mr. Poe and Katana Turnbull. I hated both of you so bad. I just wanted to strangle you guys through the screen because you were so good at being just so obnoxious. And every time she said cake sniffer, it just ground my gears so hard.
You know, we were playing and we were taking shots every time she said cake sniffer. Cake sniffer. I think we would all end up in the hospital because, damn.
Oh, dude, it was just...
Let's try that.
Yeah, just... like, Katana, you are the shit in that role. I tip my hat to you,
Annoyingly
madam.
adorable, but still.
Yeah, you played that role just to perfection. I can't wait to see like what else you do in the future. I hope you get better characters than this. The acting, I think, in general, everybody was really on par. You know, playing... Everyone was just really dumb or vicious or cruel or willfully ignorant. And I think everyone in the cast really played it really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody came... like with their A game. I don't think there's anyone in the cast that was like half-assing it.
Yeah.
Everyone was just fantastic. The art direction was amazing, especially in season 3. I think it really shone. The art direction, the visual effects. I could definitely tell they were really stretching their budget, but with what they did and the ambition that they had, I think they balanced the aesthetic really well, and that was my absolute favorite part of the show and why I kept watching despite all the absurdity and all the ridiculousness and like because the quality of the show, the set direction, the art direction, the cinematography, it was like the cinematography, and me being a camera kid, the cinematography was sublime. It was like watching a Wes Anderson film, but without all the pretension and the kind of like sniffing your own farts type shit. I like Wes Anderson. He does really good, but he is just, he's too symmetrical, and I think he's too far to where every time I watch his films, I'm kind of out of it because everything's so symmetrical and everything's almost cartoony. All his, or a lot of his live action stuff feels so cartoony, and it's getting harder and harder for me to relate. But during this whole show, I just felt for the orphans, and I just was rooting. I want them to win. You just so bad want them to win, and it gets frustrating when they don't get those wins. But that last season, when they finally started taking things into their own hands, that's part of the reason why I like the third season, because they weren't just taking it anymore. Especially Sunny, and Sunny becoming like this amazing world-renowned chef was fantastic. Like Sunny's character was amazing, and you know, they just had to like figure out how to make this baby, you know, point and do these things. So there was quite a few directors. Barry Sonnenfeld, solid, did the first 2 Men in Blacks. I'm not sure about the third. Bo Welsh, Mark Polanski, Alan Arkush, Lonnie Peristier, Liza Johnson, and Jonathan Teplitsky. Everybody played in this series of unfortunate events playhouse, and everything just stayed on message and on point. There wasn't a single scene or a line of dialogue that felt out of place. Thematically, this show knew what it was, and they knew who their target audience was, and they didn't pretend to be anything else. It was what it was, and Lemony Snicket was just so damn annoying sometimes, but everything really tied up really beautifully at the end. I wish we had seen what's her name? I love this actress. Beatrice. Morena Baccarin. I wish we had seen a little bit more of her. She's fantastic. I love seeing her on screen. Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2. She's great. And just, yeah, this show was so unbelievably good. I just kept coming back for more. And I'm sad that it's done after 3 seasons. But it had such a beautiful ending. I'm glad that they're not just cash grabbing and trying to go for as many seasons as possible. I have a working theory that a show should end after 6, maybe 7 seasons, and after that the shows just really suck. Like Mulder or X-Files should have ended when Fox Mulder got abducted. Bam, perfect ending to the show. How I Met Your Mother should have ended after like season 5. That whole last season was great, but it was a lot of bullshit. Closing thoughts on the show before we run out of tape.
Go watch it. It's really good, because I'm going to go watch it again. We should watch it again.
I'm excited to see Melina Weissman's career take off. I was a huge fan of Haley Steinfeld in True Grit. When I saw her performance, it blew me away, and she's done some really awesome stuff since. I can't wait till she's about my age and really takes on some really heavy shit. And Melina Weissman, I think, has a really good, really fantastic career ahead of her. Louis Hyman, he played it so straight. You need to be in a comedy. You need to be the straight man, and I think that's where you gotta aim for. I'm so excited to see Louis. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Being the straight man in a comedy, I think you'd be perfect for it. But I'm really excited to see these kids' careers take off, and just like the Game of Thrones kids, those kids have been doing amazing stuff. And it's always really fantastic when you have a production that has fantastic child actors. The sky's the limit, frankly. And actually, I want to apologize to James Delhauer. I'm so sorry we ran out of time. Maybe we'll get to you next time. Love you. Have fun out there. Thank you so much for coming to Films with Freddie. I'm so sorry we wasted your time. See you on the next one. I don't know how to end the show. How should we end the show?